Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Monday the 11th of November. It's full-on winter conditions at the moment across the higher mountains, particularly in Scotland, where the snow has fallen at times down to lower slopes and will continue to do so in some of the days ahead. But higher freezing levels for England and Wales, but the overall pattern stays chilly throughout this week ahead and even onwards into next week most likely. We'll have a look at temperatures first of all off the 850 millibar chart, corresponding nicely to the highest tops in Scotland, this level in the atmosphere at the moment. And you're looking at values through Tuesday into Wednesday, -4, -5 on the highest tops in Scotland. Freezing levels typically then across the Highlands, 600 to 800 metres, occasionally a little bit lower, occasionally slightly higher, but the higher mountains at least staying sub-zero throughout. Freezing levels, England and Wales, 800 to 1,000 metres, again, occasionally will be a little bit lower. Just to skip on quickly over a few days ahead, you'll see how the generally cold temperatures stay in place, this through towards the weekend as the wind is northeasterly. A slack pressure pattern then into the weekend itself, but the cold air does stay with us. Charts for the next few days. Tuesday sees low pressure parked over the North Sea, the cold airflow being drawn around from the north and northwest, a tangle of fronts wrapped around the low with some areas of constant rain, snow and some hail, that feeding into North and West Wales, the Peak District, and frequent showers merging at times to something a bit more persistent across the Lake District and Pennines too, similar for the southern uplands. Northern side of Scotland also through the day. Driest spots toward the southwestern side of the Highlands, even the central Highlands may come through drier as the day is going on. A windy day, a cold day, the very strongest winds up to severe gale force across the mountains of Wales on Tuesday morning. Now winds do drop lighter into Wednesday, much lighter, little wind in many places for Wednesday. Just watch them strengthening though across Wales as the next front comes in, and things may just generally deteriorate here as some sleet and wet snow comes in ahead of those fronts. Snow flurries too may get into the Lake District, bit of uncertainty. It's quite a weak front that's just draped around the Irish Sea and southwest Scotland. One or two local flurries for the Highlands. On balance though, it's a dry day with good cloud breaks to higher tops. A very cold start to the morning though. Temperatures in Scottish Glens in particular well down, -5 to even -8, or even below perhaps in one or two spots. Not quite as low overnight into Thursday, I don't think, as the wind is a bit stronger. Low pressure will have drawn its way eastwards, a wraparound of a front affecting Wales and the Pennines. Uncertainty just exactly how far north or south, but the risk is, with some cold air in place, that this could give some snow across the Welsh hills, again to quite low levels. Rain across the Peak District, maybe some sleet or wet snow across the higher tops. Again, height of that is uncertain at this stage. The further north and west you go into the Lake District, more likely you are to stay dry. The wind here coming out of the east or the northeast, and it's that similar flow across the Highlands which will pull frequent snow into the Cairngorms, also some spots in the northwest Highlands. Driest locations, again, more around the west coast and toward Loch Lomond. Stays a cold day, it's a windy day, the risk of gales, absolute detail uncertain, but just be prepared for that significant wind chill. A cold and windy day for some again on Friday. Strongest winds likely to be across England and Wales as northeasterlies. That'll pull some snow flurries in off the North Sea. Rain at lower slopes, but snow, maybe a bit of hail up over the tops, the Pennines, the Cheviots, and a few bands just grazing North Wales too that come in just off the Irish Sea. Snow flurries too for the north of Scotland, around the Cairngorms, the far north, but once again across central and western parts of the Highlands it's broadly a dry day with sunshine and lighter winds across much of the Highlands too. Now things become quite slack into the weekend and it maintains cold air. There may be a few snow flurries around. Looking at it, it looks quite optimistic as we go into Saturday for light winds. Maybe a few freezing fog patches in the valleys and glens. A few patches of cloud locally, but plenty of sunshine around too, I would have thought. A very cold start, again a hard frost in many valleys and glens. Temperatures staying chilly through the course of the day, but it should be a decent day as we stand. Not going to show you Sunday's chart at this stage. The uncertainty is how soon that little feature over the Atlantic begins to move in. It may be that things deteriorate. I don't think there's such a great deal on that system, but it might pull some rain, sleet and snow back in from the west. It won't do a great deal for the temperatures though. Now, confidence further ahead is pretty low. It's becoming quite a slack pattern then, as mentioned over the weekend. I think the overall message is one of staying chilly, slow changes to temperatures with time. It could be a very sort of cool November type pattern where there's some fog and some frost, a bit of murk that gets stuck around in some places, maybe a bit drier than what we've had in recent times, as the weather systems off the Atlantic are struggling to get in with higher pressure just thwarting them, centred more toward the east. So a bit of a battleground in terms of the weather patterns developing next week. I would suggest that as time goes on, there may be subtle changes, and it might be that as we head onwards deeper into next week, that something a bit milder does get in from the south or southwest. I wouldn't rule out a milder interlude at this stage. It seems unlikely that we'll get all the way through the month completely in winter mode, but the suggestion, though, is once we do get into these sorts of patterns at this point in the season, that the weather regime almost has memory, if you like, in that it will try and default back to this sort of pattern. So that may give a hint into December that these colder times are the more common weather pattern in the early winter season. Only time will tell, of course, and we'll keep you right up to date with developments here as always. At the very least, it's a productive start to the winter season in terms of snow for the time being. Stay up to date with your local forecasts, then updated every day on our website. Follow us on social media as well, and if you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel, you can do that for free and you'll never miss any of the video updates. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.